Hi, thought I'd just do a quick video outlining the achievements I've achieved since suffering from my anxiety. I've been recently watching the Anxious Athlete's videos, and he pointed out on one of his videos that a lot of us that suffer anxiety play the pity card, which I initially thought, no, that's not me, and the more I've thought about it, I thought that's definitely what I do. It basically means that we talk about our anxiety every day. We do the whole, oh, I don't feel well, I'm dizzy, I can't do that because I'm anxious. So it's almost pitying yourself to others, and no one likes to deal with anyone that's ill, whether it's mentally or physically. I know that from personal experience, that if someone's always ill or unwell, it's just, it kind of brings you down. Sorry, my dog just got in the bottom of the screen there. So I thought, I'm going to try and start being positive about things that I have achieved rather than things I still need to achieve. They might encourage me subconsciously to achieve more. Initially from, like I said in my first video, my anxiety first kicked off from leaving my secondary school, and my original goals were to become an architecture, so I left and went to a new college that I had to travel on the bus to, which I previously explained the bus issue with me, and the constant need to the toilet all the time is kind of both took a toll on each other, so buses are still a bit of a sore subject for me. But I started that college course. I then went back to my sixth form at my secondary school because I thought it's somewhere I feel comfortable, in my safe zone almost. So I did A-level art there. My anxiety was really bad for the first year of the course, because initially I thought that I was physically dying and not that I just suffered something that my mind ticks far too quickly. So I did 2 years worth of work in 1 year, and I came out with all B's and an A, which I was shocked myself about. My tutor was shocked as well. And then after that I was trying to look at a course in a different area that I'm familiar with in a sense, but not the building, or it's new people, new tutors, something different. So me and my mum spent hours looking online at something that was going to be fun and not very stressful, something that didn't also involve exams, because exams I really struggled with, because I had a massive panic attack during the last ever exam I did, and I've not took one since. But the course that I took was a multimedia course, which I've always had an interest in Photoshop, but I didn't know any other technology really on the computers that were available. I learned Illustrator, Flash, which I didn't really learn, but I'm acknowledged in Flash. So moving images, flat imagery, film, photography, and it turned out to be the best thing I ever did. The tutors were all amazing. They had a slight idea of my problems, and towards the end of the 2-year course, one of my tutors asked me what grades I hoped to come out with, and I said I wanted to come out with a triple distinction, which is the top grades possible. Sorry about the coughing. And he said that it's very rare that people get that, and I thought, I'm determined and I'll work my butt off. 2 years down the line I come out with triple distinction, which was a massive achievement. I stuck at a 2-year course with people I didn't know. I met some lovely people, a girl who came over to England from Alaska, and I had a great bond with her. I spoke to other people in my class, not as much at that point because I was still wary about new people and how to approach them and things like that, but my anxiety initially calmed down loads at that point. And from that I took in the same building a 2-year foundation degree course in multimedia, where I specialise in graphic design, which I really do enjoy. And I come out with a top distinction level on that as well. And during that course we got introduced to presentations. And even on my last course, we did a presentation at a small cinema with a whole small cinema full of people, and for any normal person that's an ordeal on its own, but for someone who suffers anxiety the way I do, it was petrifying. I was holding my cards and I was shaking like absolute crazy, and the girl, I did it with a group of 3 people, and the girl that was in front of me was a girl from Alaska, and she was really confident, really happy speaking in front of public. And then I went and was really shaky and nervous, and then a boy went after me who was even more uncomfortable speaking in public. He didn't suffer anxiety, he was just a bit awkward. So it made me realise that, yeah, I probably did mess up on a few things. No one probably noticed, and I did it. So I was really proud of that achievement. But anyway, my foundation degree, we gave presentations weekly at one point, and I hate presentations. I rush through them, I speak really fast, I probably don't say anything I need to, which is probably the same as what I'm doing now, really. But it got to the point that I'd always ask to go first for my presentations, mainly because I feel if I went first, I didn't have to sit and listen to other people and I got to go home straight after. But because of that, my tutor questioned my anxiety, because he asked me to give a talk to lower years the following year. And I said I couldn't think of anything worse. I hate talking in public, but if he wants me to, I will. And he said that he thought that me suffering anxiety was a lie, and that he thought I was a really confident person, which made me feel great about myself, because it made me feel that I don't come across as an anxious wreck thinking that I'm biting my nails and shaking in a corner of a room somewhere, and that other people don't see me as I see myself, which is what I think a lot of people that suffer social anxiety will suffer that. They will feel that people are looking at them and judging them, and really you're probably coming off a lot more confident than you will ever realise. But on that course there was a few trips abroad, planes. I caught a plane when I was 6. First plane when I was 6, and then another one when I was about 9, and I've not braved one since. But that's something that I want to try and achieve. So I never went on a trip, and then I finished that course with top grades again, almost branded as a teacher's pet, but I got grades that I want and no one's going to stop me getting them. And then I've recently just started my BA Honours in graphic design, and I set up an interview with my current tutor. So the one-on-one is initially awkward, but I did it. So that's probably a small achievement that I never saw as an achievement at the time, but I did it, and he accepted me on the course with flying colours. My tutors have given me great reviews from it. Excuse me. So that, personally, I need to realise that there's a point that I wouldn't speak to anyone I didn't know. I wouldn't want to be in a room one-on-one with someone I didn't know, and I've done it numerous times for every course I've started. So I'm currently on my BA Honours. Within the first 3 weeks of the course we got told that we could go on a trip in England, which was only I think about an hour's drive away from where we study, in an area that I know quite well anyway, that I go visiting on weekends. But the thought of going with a course, only 2 people on my course went on this trip, and a lot of people on different courses that I never knew before went. And part of me wanted to convince myself not to go, thinking, oh no, it's not going to be good. There's all these reasons. Sorry. Battery dying. All these reasons why I shouldn't go, and I thought, no, stuff it, I'm not going to listen to myself this time. I want to go, I want to enjoy myself. I did almost bribe my old tutor, who was on the trip as well, that he needed to get a coach with a toilet on it, and said that the only way I'd go is if the coach had a toilet on, which he happily arranged just for me, which I probably shouldn't have, but it's nice to know that people are there and are understanding to make that effort for you. So the night before, I stayed in a hotel in the centre of town on my own, which at the time didn't really seem like a big deal, but I need to realise it was a massive deal for me, spending a night on my own in a building that I didn't know, in quite a nightlife sort of town. And then we went on the trip. I stayed in a room with nobody that stayed in the room, none of the girls I knew. I slept in bed with a girl that like bunked up with a girl in a bed that I didn't know, and met quite a good few new friends from it. I've recently like seen around the building at uni quite a few times and spoke to them. So we stayed overnight at this trip. We went for a big walk, then we went to the pub and generally had a really nice time chatting to all these new people. So I think like I come back feeling really, really positive about myself, and things like that I've kind of forgotten since. It's only been a couple of months ago, but when things get bad I need to remember things like that I have achieved and I have done on my own. I've not had my partner or my mum or my sisters by my side saying, oh, come with me, I can't do it on my own. I did it, and the two people that was on my course that went aren't really people that I've overly spoke to either, so that was an achievement because I knew them and I got on with them, but we never spoke on a daily basis. Sorry. But that was probably the biggest achievement I've done in a while. And I think not long before that trip I went and had a session with my hypnotherapist, and he told me that basically I need to learn to man up, which was exactly his words. He says that you need to do things that you do fear. He says you don't have to enjoy them, but you need to do them. And after that session I went to a local like country game fair with my partner and his 3-year-old daughter, and there was a Ferris wheel, heights, roller coasters. I think I've got a fear of anything going, and we always normally ask her who she wants out of me or my partner to go on rides with her, and she chose me to go on the Ferris wheel. I did say to her, I says, if I get scared, I said, will you hold my hand? She says, yeah, of course I will. As I sat in it and it goes backwards, which I didn't quite realise at the time, my palms were sweating. There was a woman in a car behind me screaming because she hated it that much, which made me feel more nervous. And I thought, I can easily scream now and say, no, stop it, I can't do it. But I breathed. I thought, it was a 3-year-old girl sitting next to me, so excited about this. I'm 24 now, and I was absolutely petrified. And as we went up, I can't remember what my hypnotherapist says. I don't need to enjoy it, I just need to do it. I didn't enjoy it. When we got right to the top, I could feel it almost shaking in the wind side to side. I was trying to look around me, thinking how to distract myself, and I kept talking to my almost stepdaughter and saying, oh, look at that, isn't that good? I was thinking inside, I feel like I'm dying, my palms wouldn't stop shaking. I kept thinking, just get me off here. But she was over the moon being on this ride, and when I come down she says, you weren't scared, was you? And I did lie to her and say no, I wasn't scared, but I come off and I thought, I did it. I didn't enjoy it. I wouldn't probably go on one again unless I have to, but I still did it. Other things, with the buses, my mum and my partner have both tried to force me to go on a bus, and I've always turned around outright and said no, I can't do it, no way. But I had a doctor's appointment which is up here. It's only a 5-minute drive, probably a 4-minute bus ride, but I was on my own and I was a bit tired really, and this doctor was up here and I thought, I was running late, I can't run up this hill, and the bus was on its way. So I caught the bus, it only stopped 2 stops away and I was off it again. And I didn't really see that as an achievement because I thought it's only 2 stops, but the idea that I actually got on it on my own without turning, I could have walked easily, but I got on it. It wasn't anywhere near as bad as I probably ever imagined it would, but that's anxiety for you. And since I've caught the same bus journey probably 3 or 4 times, maybe not if I don't need to, but just trying to push. And last week I caught a bus for the first time with a person. I caught it with my sister. It was probably a 15-20 minute bus journey. Because I was with her, it didn't feel like I was on the bus. I didn't really realise I was on it, and I didn't get bothered by it at all. So that I felt really good by. I was happy to catch it back with her as well. So I definitely need to push myself as to get one further, whether it's on my own or with someone else. I need to kind of convince myself that I have not got a problem with it and just catch it like every normal other person. And I've never had an accident where I've wet myself, but it is something that I do worry about. So I need to realise that I won't wet myself on a bus, hopefully, and just to do it. And if it gets to that point, I can get off. No one's going to tie me down and keep me attached to it. There's also tattoos. Any tattoo, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of different sizes. My smallest one being my newest one there, which is a anxiety-ish related one, which basically means that an arrow can only be fired by pulling it backwards. So when life's pulling you back with difficulties, keep aiming, because it means it's going to shoot you into something great. That tattoo took probably less than a minute, and I was really, because at the minute I only had this done that time I caught the bus. It was only 2 weeks ago, and I was really nervous because the dizziness is always there at the minute, and I thought, I'm going to get dizzy, I'm going to pass out, I'm going to get laughed at. And I did sweat quite a bit, but I dealt with the pain better because my sister has the same tattoo, and I dealt with it a lot better than she did. So that was an achievement, because it was at a different tattoo shop than I've ever been to, and I think, deep down I think, is the needles clean? Am I going to die from this tattoo? Am I going to get ink poisoning? And all these things going around in my head, where I'm thinking they won't be open or they won't be busy if people had problems with them. So I had it done, which to me I didn't feel like it was an achievement because I was really anxious about it, but I still did it. I almost backed out, but I didn't. And my other tattoos I always get by my second cousin, who's a really good tattooist, and every time I go he laughs how nervous I get, and he says that I deal with the pain well, so he doesn't understand why I get nervous. But I think it's quite knowing like the unknown, because all my tattoos are in different places, but my biggest one was a 3.5 hour sitting, and I kept telling myself, thinking, oh, I've been sat here that long, am I going to stand up and pass out? And I think it's things like that I need to realise. If people died regularly from tattoos or piercings, then nobody would have them done. So I think it's just, I really need to train myself to think realistically that life isn't that bad. Yeah, bad things do happen, but yeah, just because I felt dizzy for probably 2 months straight now, the happier I am, dizziness goes away. But subconsciously I keep thinking, I'm dizzy daily, I've got a brain tumour, I'm going to pass out, I'm going to die. There was about a 3-week period where I thought all these symptoms I know I was causing, but I felt that I was physically dying inside, and I woke up crying most mornings. And my partner said to me, he says, if you're really ill, you know about it and you will go to the doctors. I try and avoid the doctors because I know it is in my mind, and I know I'm a hypochondriac, and hypochondriacs should steer from the doctors apparently. So things like that, I need to basically kick myself up the arse and realise that I have a good life, and worrying about the stupid little things is just pointless really. But even saying this now, I realise how stupid it sounds, but anyone watching this who doesn't suffer from anxiety in some fashion will think, God, this girl's being stupid, like why be scared of a bus, why be scared of like these small things? But anyone that suffers anxiety, health, generalised panic attacks will all understand that it doesn't matter what you believe, what your mind tells you overrules that. So yeah, we believe that we're not going to walk out the road and get run over by a midget driving a tractor, but in the back of your mind, if you fear that, that's what you fear is going to happen. And it's definitely an awkward one, trying to train myself not to feel and fear these things. Like at the minute I am feeling dizzy, but I just need to try and think, I don't need to lie down every time I feel dizzy, because when I lie down I think, I'm dizzy, I'm going to pass out, I need to lie down. And like days are going by and I'm just wasting like parts of my life that I could be catching up on work or going out and doing things. Because hopefully by emphasising the things I've achieved, I might, whether other people then see that, yeah, if you do suffer anxiety, it don't mean it stops you doing anything, or whether it helps me personally think, no, I can do these things. There are four really main things that I still really want to achieve. One of them is definitely go on a plane or a boat. I think initially I feel safe on a boat, but I've never done a boat before. But either way, go abroad, hopefully to the south of France I've got in mind. Get comfortable with thunder and lightning, which is one that's bothered me ever since I was a child, and I've never grown out of, really. Even without anxiety, I've always had a massive fear of thunder and lightning. And anyone living in America who ever sees English thunderstorms will probably laugh at that, but to me English thunderstorms are horrible, and even watching American thunderstorms on telly makes my palms sweat. And I think I should feel lucky that, yeah, we only get a bit of thunder and lightning and no one dies from it, whereas in America you get horrendous weather. But that's something that I can't pick when it happens. I have to wait and make myself prepared for it, which is a really hard thing to deal with. But I got told that I need to stop hiding away. I'm like a little 6-year-old girl and shuts the curtains and puts music on loud and hides under the duvet with my ears over my head. But that's one thing I really, really want to combat. And holding a spider. I know spiders are quite a normal phobia for people to have, but it's one of those personal things I want to combat. My partner will pick up any size spider he sees in the house, and I found quite a small, probably about that big size spider on my wall, and I was telling myself, I was like, no, I'm going to hold it, it's not going to hurt me. And I thought, but what if it bites me? What if it's a poisonous one I don't realise? And it ran down under the floor and I never braved to catch it. I think I need to stop telling myself these bad things will happen and just grab it. I thought, England, we don't die of people picking up spiders. It's no better than picking up a worm or anything like that. It's one of those, I think the spider thing would hopefully be my easiest thing to achieve. But I think if I did things on a regular basis enough, hopefully I can control how my mind thinks about certain situations. But I think that is actually about it. But any other achievements, like I said before, I will keep updating, and anyone wants to message me with any help for me or help for you, I'll be happy to respond. Thank you for watching. Bye.